First Contact and the demonstration captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the U.E.'s New Horizons, watching the swirling clouds of Jupiter through the main view screen. Her ship was humanity's first deep space exploration vessel, designed to seek out new worlds and civilizations beyond the solar system. The New Horizons was sleek and powerful, with reinforced hull plating and advanced sensor arrays that could detect life signs from millions of miles away. Elena had been chosen for this historic mission because of her calm leadership style and her ability to think quickly under pressure. She had spent 15 years commanding various Earth vessels, from mining ships in the asteroid belt to research stations near Neptune. Now, at age 42, she was about to make history as the first human to meet beings from another world. The bridge crew worked quietly around her, monitoring their instruments and preparing for what they hoped would be a peaceful encounter. Lieutenant Commander James Park sat at the navigation console, his fingers dancing across holographic displays as he tracked their course through the outer solar system. Dr. Sarah Kim, the ship's xenobiologist, stood near the communications station, ready to analyze any alien signals they might receive. Suddenly, the ship's sensors began detecting something unusual. Chief Science Officer Tom Rodriguez looked up from his console with excitement in his eyes. "Captain, I'm picking up 5 large objects approaching from the direction of Saturn. They're moving in formation, and their energy signatures are unlike anything in our databases." Elena felt her heart rate increase. This was the moment they had all been waiting for. "Put it on the main screen," she ordered. The view screen flickered and changed to show 5 elegant vessels approaching their position. The alien ships were beautiful, with smooth curves and surfaces that seemed to shimmer with their own inner light. They moved with grace and precision, like dancers performing an ancient ritual. "They're scanning us," reported Lieutenant Park. "I'm detecting multiple energy beams focused on our hull. It feels like they're taking detailed measurements of our ship." Elena took a deep breath and straightened her uniform. "Open a channel. Let's introduce ourselves." The communications officer nodded and activated the ship's transmitter. Elena stepped forward and spoke clearly into the microphone. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earth ship New Horizons. We come in peace and friendship. We seek to establish contact with your civilization." For several minutes, there was only silence. Then, a voice came through the speakers. It was strange and musical, with clicking sounds that no human throat could make. "Greetings, beings of the third planet. I am Ambassador Kethmore of the Galactic Trade Federation. We have been observing your species for some time. We welcome you to the greater community of intelligent life." Elena smiled with relief. The alien seemed friendly and peaceful. "Thank you, Ambassador. We are honored to meet you. We hope this is the beginning of a long and productive relationship between our peoples." "Indeed," Kethmore replied. "We have much to discuss. Our Federation consists of over 200 species from across this galaxy. We trade knowledge, resources, and friendship. Perhaps your species would be interested in joining our community." Dr. Kim leaned forward with excitement. This was exactly what Earth had hoped for. Access to alien technology and knowledge could solve many of humanity's problems. They could learn about faster-than-light travel, advanced medicine, and clean energy sources. "We would be very interested in learning more," Elena said. "What would be required for Earth to join your Federation?" "There are certain standards that must be met," Kethmore explained. "All member species must commit to peaceful coexistence. We have strict regulations about military technology and weapons of mass destruction. Perhaps you could demonstrate your ship's capabilities so we can better understand your level of technological development." Elena nodded. This seemed like a reasonable request. "Of course. We'll run a standard systems check. This will show you how our ship operates." She turned to her crew. All stations, prepare for routine diagnostics. Run a full system evaluation. The crew began their work. This was something they had done hundreds of times before. The ship's computer would test every major system to ensure everything was functioning properly. It was like a doctor giving a patient a checkup, examining each part to make sure it was healthy. Lieutenant Park activated the engine diagnostic. The New Horizons fusion reactors powered up to full capacity, creating enough energy to power a small city. The engines themselves were capable of accelerating the ship to 10% of light speed, allowing for rapid travel between planets. Chief Rodriguez ran a test of the ship's defensive systems. The energy shields flickered to life around the hull, creating a protective barrier that could deflect asteroid impacts and radiation. The shields glowed with a soft blue light as they reached full strength. Testing point defense systems, announced Weapons Officer Lisa Chon. The ship's defensive turrets rotated and fired a single test shot into empty space. The magnetic accelerator cannon launched a small projectile at incredible velocity, designed to destroy incoming missiles or debris that might threaten the ship. What the humans didn't realize was that their routine systems check was being recorded and analyzed by the Alien Federation. Aboard the lead alien vessel, Ambassador Kethmore watched his instruments with growing alarm. The readings he was seeing made no sense according to Federation understanding of defensive technology. Kethmore belonged to a species that looked like large, intelligent insects. His four arms worked frantically over his control panels, while his compound eyes tracked multiple displays simultaneously. What he was seeing terrified him. The human ship's single test shot had generated more kinetic energy than the Federation's most powerful weapons at full charge. Science Coordinator Kethmore called to his assistant. "Are these readings accurate?" Their defensive projectile weapon shows energy output equivalent to a planetary bombardment system. The Science Coordinator, a reptilian being named Sekvar, double-checked his instruments. "The readings are correct, Ambassador. That single shot could penetrate our strongest shields and destroy any ship in our fleet, and they called it a point defense system." Meanwhile, the human diagnostic continued. The New Horizons tested its sensor arrays, which could detect and track thousands of objects simultaneously across vast distances. The ship's computer systems processed information at speeds that would have been impossible just decades earlier. "Navigation system check complete," reported Lieutenant Park. "All engines responding normally. We're ready for interstellar travel whenever you give the order, Captain." Elena felt proud of her ship and crew. Everything was working perfectly. They were ready to explore the galaxy and meet new civilizations. She opened the communication channel again. "Ambassador Kethmore, our systems check is complete. All defensive and propulsion systems are functioning normally. We're ready to begin our journey to the stars." There was a long pause before Kethmore responded. When he finally spoke, his voice sounded strained. "Captain Vasquez, we need to ask you about your ship's capabilities. The weapon system you just tested, is this standard for your species?" Elena looked confused. "Yes, of course. The New Horizons is an exploration vessel, not a military ship. Our weapons are purely defensive. We only carry basic point defense systems to protect against asteroids and space debris." Aboard the alien ship, Kethmore felt his blood run cold. If this was basic defensive technology, what did human military vessels look like? He had to warn the Federation immediately. "Captain, we appreciate your demonstration. We must return to our home worlds to discuss your application for membership. We will contact you soon with our decision." "Thank you, Ambassador. We look forward to hearing from you," Elena replied. She was pleased that the first contact had gone so smoothly. The aliens seemed impressed with human technology, and she was confident that Earth would soon be welcomed into the galactic community. As the alien ships departed, Elena had no idea that she had just triggered the biggest crisis in galactic history. The Federation had never encountered a species with such powerful military technology. In their society, weapons were designed to disable, not destroy. Wars were fought with honor and rules, like elaborate games where the goal was to defeat the enemy without causing unnecessary harm. But humans had evolved on a dangerous world, surrounded by predators and natural disasters. They had learned to build weapons that could stop any threat completely. What they considered basic defensive systems, the aliens saw as weapons of mass destruction. Within hours, emergency signals were being sent across the galaxy. The Galactic Trade Federation called for an unprecedented meeting of all member species. The message was urgent and classified at the highest levels. New species discovered, extreme threat level, immediate action required. On dozens of worlds, alien leaders received the shocking news. The humans possessed technology that could destroy entire fleets with ease. Their single exploration ship carried enough firepower to conquer star systems. They were either the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever encountered, or they were the most peaceful warriors anyone had ever seen. The debate that followed would change the course of galactic history. Some species wanted to destroy Asterisk. The war that changed everything 3 weeks after the first contact incident, the Galactic Trade Federation delivered their verdict to Earth. The message came through the same communication channel that Ambassador Keth Moore had used, but this time, the tone was entirely different. The voice that spoke was deep and commanding, belonging to Supreme Admiral Vorthek of the Federation Defense Force. "People of Earth," the alien voice announced, "the Galactic Trade Federation has reached a decision regarding your species. After careful consideration, we have determined that your military technology poses an unacceptable threat to galactic peace. You have been classified as a Category 7 hazard civilization." Captain Elena Vasquez listened to the transmission from Earth Command Headquarters, along with Admiral Sarah Mitchell and other top military leaders. They had been expecting good news about humanity's acceptance into the galactic community. Instead, they were hearing what sounded like a declaration of war. "Your species has exactly 30 Earth days to comply with Federation Regulation 2847. Vorthek continued. "All military vessels must be decommissioned. All weapon systems above Class 2 energy output must be destroyed. All nuclear materials must be surrendered to Federation oversight. Failure to comply will result in immediate quarantine of your solar system." Admiral Mitchell, a veteran commander with gray hair and sharp eyes, stood up angrily. "This is ridiculous. We haven't threatened anyone. Our weapons are purely defensive." She gestured toward the communication console. "Open a channel. I want to speak to whoever's in charge." The response came quickly. "This is Supreme Admiral Vorthek. I am in charge of this operation. Your compliance is not optional. Your species has demonstrated weapons technology that violates 17 major galactic warfare conventions. You cannot be allowed to spread this technology to other systems." Dr. Sarah Kim, who had been studying the alien communications, stepped forward. "Admiral, with respect, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Our species has evolved differently than yours. We developed strong weapons because we needed them to survive on our world. We're not conquerors or aggressors." "Your intentions are irrelevant," Vorthek replied coldly. "Your capabilities are what matter. A single one of your defensive ships could destroy our entire home fleet. This cannot be tolerated." Admiral Mitchell's face hardened. "And if we refuse your demands? Then your solar system will be blockaded indefinitely. No ship will be allowed to enter or leave. Your species will remain isolated until you agree to our terms or until your civilization falls." The transmission ended, leaving the human leaders in stunned silence. They had reached out to the galaxy in friendship and been met with fear and ultimatums. The aliens were demanding that Earth disarm itself completely, leaving humanity vulnerable to any future threats. Within hours, the Federation blockade began. Hundreds of alien ships took positions around the solar system, creating an impenetrable barrier. Any human vessel that approached the blockade line was turned back with warnings. Earth was now a prisoner in its own star system. The blockade lasted for 2 months. During this time, the Federation tried to pressure Earth into compliance. Through economic warfare, they jammed human communications, disrupted satellite networks, and made it clear that this was only the beginning. If humanity continued to resist, things would get much worse. But the Federation had made a critical error. They had assumed that the New Horizons was representative of human military capability. They had no idea that Earth's actual war fleets were far more powerful than anything they had yet seen. Captain Marcus Chon commanded the UES Thunderstrike, a heavy destroyer that was part of Earth's home defense fleet. Unlike the New Horizons, which was built for exploration, the Thunderstrike was designed for one purpose: to destroy anything that threatened Earth. Marcus was a career military officer who had fought in the Mars Liberation War and the Jupiter mining conflicts. He was not intimidated by aliens who thought they could bully humanity into submission. "Admiral," Marcus said during a secure briefing with Earth Command, "my ship is ready for action. Just give us the order, and we'll show these aliens what human military technology can really do." Admiral Mitchell studied the tactical displays showing the alien blockade. Intelligence reports suggested that the Federation had assembled over 400 ships for this operation. It was the largest military force in galactic history, designed to overwhelm any resistance Earth might offer. "Are you certain about this, Marcus?" she asked. "We'll be facing odds of 400 to 1. If we lose, Earth will be defenseless." Marcus smiled grimly. "Admiral, they're not facing 400 to 1 odds. They're facing 1 to 400 odds. There's a difference." The plan was simple but audacious. The Thunderstrike would break through the blockade at its strongest point, near Jupiter, where the Federation had stationed their most powerful vessels. The goal was not to destroy the entire alien fleet, but to demonstrate that humanity could not be imprisoned in its own solar system. As the Thunderstrike approached the blockade line, Marcus addressed his crew over the ship's communication system. "We're about to make history. The aliens think they can cage humanity because they're afraid of our strength. Today, we show them that their fear is justified, but their response is wrong. We're not monsters. We're defenders. And we defend what's ours." The first alien ship to intercept them was a massive Federation dreadnought, 3 times the size of the Thunderstrike. Its commander, Fleet Captain Zex Cole, opened a communication channel. "Human vessel, you are in violation of the blockade. Turn back immediately or face the consequences." Marcus responded calmly. "Federation ship, you are in violation of our sovereign space. You have exactly 60 seconds to withdraw before we consider you a hostile force." "Impossible," Zex Cole replied. "You are outnumbered 400 to 1. Surrender now, and your crew will be treated with honor." "Counteroffer," Marcus said. "You surrender now, and we'll let you leave with your lives." The alien commander was stunned by the humans' audacity. Did they not understand the situation? The Federation had brought enough firepower to conquer entire star systems. One small human ship could not possibly threaten them. "Very well," Zex Cole said. "You have chosen destruction. All ships opened fire. The Federation fleet unleashed everything they had. Hundreds of energy beams converged on the Thunderstrike, creating a light show that could be seen from Mars. The aliens expected to see the human ship vaporized instantly. Instead, the Thunderstrike's shields absorbed the entire barrage without even flickering. "Is that it?" Marcus asked over the communication channel. Our turn. The Thunderstrike's main guns opened fire. These were not the point defense systems that had shocked the aliens during first contact. These were weapons designed to crack planets and destroy space stations. The magnetic accelerator cannons fired projectiles at significant fractions of light speed, carrying enough kinetic energy to shatter moons. The first shot hit the Federation dreadnought's center mass. The massive alien vessel simply ceased to exist, vaporized by the impact. The second shot destroyed 3 more ships in a single blast. The third shot punched through the shields of 5 vessels simultaneously, leaving them as drifting wreckage. The Thunderstrike was just getting started. Marcus had nuclear missiles, plasma torpedoes, and antimatter warheads. Each weapon was designed to end fights quickly and decisively. The Federation had never seen warfare like this. Their energy weapons were meant to disable ships gradually, allowing for honorable surrender. Human weapons were meant to remove threats completely. Within minutes, the Federation blockade was in full retreat. Their most powerful ships were being destroyed by dozens, and they couldn't even scratch the human vessel's shields. Supreme Admiral Vor Thek watched in horror as his carefully planned operation turned into a massacre. All ships withdraw immediately, he ordered. Retreat to minimum. Safe distance. But Marcus wasn't finished. Attention Federation Fleet. He broadcast on all frequencies. This is Captain Shun of the Earth Defense Force. You came here to cage humanity. You brought 400 ships to intimidate us. Now you're running from one. Let me explain something. About human military doctrine. We don't fight fair. We don't fight with honor. We fight to win. And we always win. The remaining Federation ships fled beyond the orbit of Neptune, leaving behind the wreckage of nearly 50 vessels. The blockade was broken, but the greater crisis was just beginning. The aliens now knew that humanity was even more dangerous than they had feared. Emergency signals flashed across the galaxy. The Federation's most powerful fleet had been routed by a single human ship. Panic spread through dozens of worlds as alien leaders realized they had made a terrible mistake. They had thought they were dealing with a primitive species that needed to be controlled. Instead, they had provoked warriors who could destroy their entire civilization. But something else was happening in the depths of space. The energy signatures from the battle had awakened something that had been sleeping for millennia. Ancient sensors detected the massive explosions and interpreted them as a sign that the galaxy's defenses had been compromised. Deep in the void between stars, mechanical intelligences began to stir. They called themselves the Devourers, and they had been waiting for the ***.